thank you for tuning back into my channel. If you watched my last video on my Gel X application, this is the art we decided to do on it. We are doing a milk bath now. So I am taking dehydrated flowers and breaking up into small pieces. I have a little dapping dish of warm water over here, and bigger pieces or larger flowers I'm putting in to soften that and make it more pliable to put on the nail. You can see one of the bigger flowers I'm putting in there to kind of soften that up. And I'm just going to go in here and break up these flowers. And I think I got these flowers off of Amazon. So, I mean, you can really find them just about anywhere. They used to have them at Sally's. I don't know if they still do. But yeah, so I'm just choosing some random colors that go together. And breaking those up. And putting big ones in my dapping dish of water. And then I'm taking them out. I don't want them to sit too long. Just enough to moisten them up and get them nice and soft and pliable. So now that I'm done picking up my flowers, I'm just going to take the ones out of the water. That way they don't get too moist, keeping them separated. I also am going to encapsulate some of these cute little gold rings. I love these. I got these from Wino's shop. Super cheap and high quality, honestly. After I've gotten this picked out, I'm also going to use some gold flake in the nail as well, because you need a little bit of sparkle. And I have this handy dandy caviar pen. It is bomb. You just press a button and it shoots out and goes right on your nail. So now I am mixing my base for my milk bath. I'm using White Bunny by D&D and Structure Gel. Structure Gel is a soft gel, and I'm just tipping this upside down because I'm going to use quite a bit of product. But since the Gel X is a soft gel extension, I'm going to encapsulate with a soft gel. So I'm just going to mix these together. I am going to add a little bit of my Young Nails Fizz. Just a dab. This stuff is super pigmented. See, just a smidge. Mix it up real good. Blend it together. Make sure you got the color that you want. Okay, that color is perfect. That is just what I'm looking for. I'm just taking my D&D brush that I used from the White Bunny, wiping it off, and I'm just going to use that to polish my nail. So I'm going to start off by doing a super thin layer just to get enough coverage on the nail. And then after I get this laid how I want it, I'm going to go in and place my flowers randomly. I try to do one big one and then accent with little tiny pieces that I broke off of the bunch of flowers. And I'm putting these flowers on while they're still wet. You don't want to cure it because then the flowers aren't going to stick. And see how much more moldable that flower is now that I soaked it in a little bit of warm water? Kind of soften those big flowers up. And I'm kind of just creating a little circle here because I'm going to go in and put one of these gold rings on it later on, and I don't want to cover that area too much. So I'm just randomly placing them. After I get these placed, I'm going to cure for 60 seconds and then move on to my next finger. Just clipping a little bit of excess off there. just because I don't want that sticking up while I'm trying to do the art. And if I cure it that way, then I'll have to deal with it later, so I'd rather just deal with it now. So again, I'm trying to mix up flowers. I don't want to do the same color, so I'm going to do a big blue one on this one, and then accent with a bunch of tiny ones. And then again, once I'm done placing these, I'm going to cure for 60 seconds. We're going to do a bit of an asymmetrical set here. We're not going to do the same art on the same fingers. I love this style. I love switching it up. I also like doing one hand with like all art and then the other hand just a solid color. I love how that looks. This flower is a little big, so I'm just going to kind of break a little bit of it off, a couple petals. That way it's not crowding my nail too much. And I love this flower. I love the pink and I love the yellow. It is so pretty. Okay, now that those are cured, I'm going to take a bigger bead of my polish that I mixed, clip those little pieces off, that way they're not sticking up. I'm going to take a bigger bead and coat the nail generously in it. It is okay to do a thicker layer with this, since the main base of the milk bath that I mixed is structure gel. So that's a soft gel. It's not polish, because I know gel polish, if you put too much on, it doesn't cure properly. So after I do that, while my polish is still wet, I'm going to go in with some gold flake and accent in some random spots, just whatever looks right to me. Don't put too much, you don't want to crowd the nail. Okay, and after I get that placed, I'm going to cure for 60 seconds, hop on over to my next finger. Again, do a generous coat of your milk bath mixture. And then I'm going to put my little gold ring in here, just in the center. That's kind of just where I wanted it. You can put it wherever you want. And then I am going to put my gold flake in. And then I also like to take a couple of the smaller flowers and put them in there as well, to make it look like there's flowers floating on top of the milk bath. That way it's not all covered with that milky white. I feel like your colors pop a little bit more when you do it this way. And that's kind of the beauty of milk bath. You can do it however you want. It's totally customizable. Let me know what you guys think about this. Leave me comments in the boxes below. Ask me questions. Let me know your methods. I'm curious. That's how I learn, is through other nail techs and other experienced professionals. Okay, so now that this hand is cured, while my other hand is curing, I'm going to go in with a clear structure gel, and I am going to encapsulate. So I'm going to take a pretty big bead, place it at the base near the cuticle, and float my product down, moving from side to side, just to make sure that it's nice and even and encapsulated. I want to make sure that my client's flowers last throughout her wear. And just notice how I'm floating my bead down. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to scoop my fingers along the side to remove any bulk product. Like I said, it does not have to be perfect, because with encapsulation, it's going to be lumpy and bumpy. Once this is cured and everything, we're going to go in and file anyways, just to crisp up the shape. But the main goal of encapsulating this with the structure gel is to make sure that the flower is safe. So I'm only going to do a super thin layer on this one with the gold ring. I'm going to make sure it's nice and coated and make sure I get my edges. Sorry, I'm out of frame here, guys. It's kind of awkward filming with a phone hanging over your workspace. But again, just make sure your edges are capped. Kind of go around that gold ring a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to place little bunches of flowers randomly around the gold ring. Just the style that I was feeling for the day. It looks cute. After I get these flowers placed, I'm going to take my caviar pen, and I'm using little gold caviars, and I am just going to place some random caviars around the gold ring just to accent it a little bit. And look how cool this is. You literally just press a button and it shoots out a little gold caviar. Boom, boom, boom. So cool. We actually got this in, it was either Vegas or a Philadelphia show. I'm not quite sure the brand, but if you can find one, pick one up, because I hate those little circle jars that you have to twist the lid off to pick the caviar up one by one. This makes it so much easier. So now we're going to go in and encapsulate this. I am taking a huge bead and just floating it down, just because I have metal in this one and the little caviars. And you can see where it's lumpy and bumpy. Don't worry about it, because we're going to file it later, just to make sure that our flowers are in there and they're safe and our caviars are safe. And I'm just going to take my fingers alongside and remove excess product. And I'm going to cure immediately for 60 seconds after I get my product laid how I want it. Again, does not have to be perfect, because we're going to go back and file this later. Cure for 60 seconds. So I've went and cleaned the nail off with a cotton pad with Scrub Fresh on it. Just remove the tacky layer. And I'm going to crisp up my edges. So after I get this shaped how I want it, I'm going to go in with a fine barrel bit and my Gelish Go file and just smooth that out real nice, just to make sure that our structure is still good. We don't want a lumpy and bumpy nail. So again, just a fine grit barrel bit just to smooth that out and make sure our structure is perfect. And we're not going to drill through the nail. We're not going to hurt the flowers, because we encapsulated it with that clear structure gel. And now the flowers are safe. Make sure you're checking from all angles and all sides to make sure that your nail has the perfect structure and is nice and even. Here I'm looking straight down the nail, and then I'm going on to the side just to look and make sure that it has the perfect apex and it's nice and smooth. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to go in with a buffing block and just make sure it's nice and smooth. That way when I top coat, it's not all rough and weird looking. And I like to take the buffer underneath just to remove any fileys. I'm just going to crisp this edge up a little bit more. Perfect. Get this one too. So after I get this shaped how I want, I am going to go in with D&D number 572. This is the prettiest lavender. I actually need to order some more because I'm almost out. That's how often we use it. And I'm going to go ahead and paint the nails that don't have anything on them this really pretty lavender. And then I'm going to go back in after I top coat with my Daily Charm and get a little bit of chrome action going. I'm going to do a little bit of an ombre on one of them and do a whole one with chrome. I'm doing 2 layers and curing each layer for 60 seconds. D&D is seriously so pigmented. It's definitely my favorite gel polish. I honestly could have just done 1 coat, but I like to do 2 just to be sure. And extra layers don't hurt. That way her nails are nice and strong. Now that I got her 2 layers on there, I'm going to go in with my favorite top coat. It is the Après No Wipe Top Coat. It is amazing. I'm just going to make sure I cap all my edges, do a nice thin layer, and then I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds. The shine with this gel top coat is unreal. If you guys have not used the Après No Wipe Gel Top Coat, you need to. You need it in your life. It's amazing, and it's stain resistant. So I've already top coated, cured for 60 seconds. I'm going to go in with my Unichrome by Daily Charm. I'm just wiping the nail off with some Scrub Fresh on a cotton pad. And I am going to take my little squeegee sponge. I don't know what it's actually called. I just call it my squeegee. Take a little dab, and you're really going to push those chrome particles into the nail, buffing it nice and smooth. You really want to use a lot of pressure, and you really want to buff it as much as you can just to push those particles in. That way you don't have too much separation when you top coat, because then that leads to chipping with your chrome. So I'm going to go in with my e-file. I have this handy dandy little brush, Amazon, pick one up. I'm going to go on low speed and just go around my cuticle and around the skin just to remove those chrome particles. And I am going to do a little bit of a chrome ombre here. So I'm taking a little bit, starting at the tip, really pushing and buffing that chrome powder into the top coat. After I get that placed how I want it, I am going to go in with my fluffy brush. It's just an old acrylic brush that I've cleaned, and it doesn't really serve me any purpose other than blending. So I can't use it with acrylic anymore because it's old. But see how much more that blends that out? That we don't have those harsh streaks marks. So I'm going to go with my OPI top coat. As you guys have heard in my other videos, this is my go-to chrome top coat. I do not want to ruin my good top coat with chrome dust. There are going to be little particles left on the nail. OPI used to be the shit. They're not that great anymore. So it's my chrome top coat. So I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds. I'm going to do this hand, again, just wiping with Scrub Fresh. Make sure you get the whole nail. And just a little dab, work your product in. I'm going to go ahead and chrome this one since we're going for an asymmetrical look. And then I think I'm going to do the pinky all chrome. Again, my little fluffy brush. Blend that out real nice. Nice and smooth. You want it nice and gradient. No harsh lines, people. That's not an ombre. Alright, I'm going to pop this baby in and cook it for 60 seconds. Again, OPI top coat. That's my go-to chrome. And I always top coat twice with chrome just because you are putting powder in between the layers of the gel polish, so it's more prone to chipping. Always do 2 top coats. That way your chrome lasts throughout your client's wear. Next, I'm going to go with my good top coat. That is my Après No Wipe. Get a nice coat on there. Make sure you cap all your edges. Don't want that chrome chipping, guys. And then I am going to cure this for 60 seconds. Okay, and I always use cuticle oil. I'm using C&D solar oil. I put it on a little pad because it has a brush. I'm not going to dip my brush in there and put it on my client's skin and then put it back in the bottle. We do not contaminate. That is disgusting. So I put it on a pad, and it's really nice too because you can really massage it into the client's skin as well. Okay, guys, we are about close to our finished look. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe. Like this video. Give me some love. I know my videos aren't the greatest. I'm still trying to figure it out. I think I need to get a good laptop and a good camera. But yeah, support me, love me, and I will keep making videos and I will keep getting better. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always appreciate your views. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Alright, guys. Peace.